getting what they're giving because I'm working for a living.
This is the Checka Pro Radio Show, sponsored by CheckaPro.com. To find pre-qualified local service providers, click on CheckaPro.com. Here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Jim Clark.
And that is me. Welcome to the Checka Pro Radio Show. It is so great to have you here. And today, I'm so excited to be talking to my good friend, Eli from Fleetwell. Eli, how are you doing today? It is so great to have you here on my program, the Checka Pro Radio Show. Let's talk a little bit about what you do at Fleetwell, air conditioning, heating, and plumbing. You guys really take care of our neighbors with the major components of their home. We're talking air conditioning and heating and plumbing, but I really want to focus on HVAC, starting with the air conditioning, which we really need a lot in this part of the state, Southern California, LA area. It's hot. And when it's hot, we need the AC system. Luckily, in the wintertime, it's not so bad. Occasionally, some of our listeners may need to turn the heat on here and there. This time of year, I really want to talk about the importance of having a well-maintained air conditioning system. I know you have such passion for this. So before we go into the great offers you have brought to the radio program today and my listeners, I'd like you to tell me and my listeners a little bit about the passion you guys have at Fleetwell for the community, why you do what you do, why you get up in the morning, have such passion, and your team having such passion to do what a lot of other companies in our area do, which is air conditioning and heating work. What makes you guys so special?
Absolutely, Jim. First of all, thanks for having me. So Fleetwell was born out of, I would call it a personal need that I wanted to fulfill for our community. A lot of times I would call up service technicians when my parents need something fixed at their home. And I would watch as guy after guy, company after company would go in, say a completely different thing, and then repeat. And it would drive me nuts how someone couldn't just say one thing and stick to it. And so after graduating college, I went right into the trades, loved it, worked as a technician, worked as an installer, and really started to see things from the customer lens. And when our technicians go out, I mean, they're background tested. We give them about 120 paid hours of training. So we make sure they know the product and all the different brands in and out. And most of all, they not only have empathy for our customers, but they put our customers before anything else. And when they're coming in and looking at your system, they're so thorough in everything they do. Our dispatchers, they make it a point to make sure that each call is anywhere between 60 minutes to 90 minutes at the bare minimum. And that's what gives us an accurate read on what's going on with the unit. So sometimes you have a small issue. It appears to be small, but it might be a bigger problem, or vice versa. We know that a customer that is happy with our service will just not only feel good, but they'll brag about us to all their friends and family. And that's what we're really after. We want to make sure that our customers are taken care of.
Yeah, that's a great way to build a business, by the way. Word of mouth, referral, and of course, repeat business. So here's what I'm really excited about. Not just having you on the program, you being so qualified and your team so qualified, being well-trained, licensed, and insured, which is very important, by the way, everybody. You want to make sure whoever comes to your home to do any work on your home is licensed and insured. But beyond that, you have brought outstanding offers to my listeners, and many of them really need that today. They need to get their air conditioning system tuned up. They need it to be inspected. And beyond that, I think they need some free stuff because I like doing that here on the Checka Pro Radio Show. So let me go through this list, everybody, and it's lengthy here. There's just a lot of items here because I've asked Eli to really sweeten the pot. When I have people come on my radio program, I really want them to bring great value to you, my listener. I'm going to talk about what Eli is giving away today for such a great deal. Then we're going to go back and discuss what it is in some more detail and why it's important. So if you're not a customer of Fleetwell air conditioning, heating, and plumbing right now, that's not a problem. You're going to get a first time out, being a new customer, system tune-up today for not $149. That's the regular price, which is a pretty good price. Today, it's only $19.95. That's right, $19.95 to savings of $129, which is outstanding. I asked Eli if he would do better than that. And he said, you know what? Let's give our HVAC inspection for free. I said, what's that worth? At least $95, he says. Okay, great. $95, great. So a free HVAC inspection on top of your HVAC system tune-up. Then I asked him about his club membership. And you really know you've got a great HVAC company working for you as a homeowner if they have a club membership. That's $225 a year. I said, if you're going to be on my show, I want you to throw that in free for my listeners for the first year. And he said, yes. And then on top of that, super bonus here, a duct inspection, $189 for free. I figured while Eli is out in your home, get your ductwork inspected. It's really all part of the HVAC system, so it should be. Not $189, but for free. I tallied all that up, Eli. I don't know if you know this. Everything you're giving away, total, for free, is worth over $600 to my listeners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jen. You know, the reason we're doing this is I can't even tell you how many emergency calls we get during hot summer days. When we take a look at what went wrong, 9 out of 10 times, these are issues that we could have caught during downtime. I mean, during March, April, when the weather was just fantastic. And so when people are calling out Labor Day holiday, shops are closed. It's difficult to get a hold of a service provider. Our technicians are out working, by the way. But the thing is, it's like a car. If one small consumable part goes bad, that might affect the ability to put your car into reverse, to drive. So really looking at all these things makes a huge, huge impact. I can't stress the importance of preventative maintenance enough. We go through everything. We're extremely thorough. We like to make sure everything's done properly and just make sure that we've, cross our T's, dot our I's.
I'm going to give out Eli's phone number in just a few moments. Only 10 of my listeners are going to get this $19.95 deal. It's a first-time out system tune-up. We're going to get into the tune-up in a moment, what that entails. Ordinarily $149, a saving of $129, just $19.95. You're going to get your total HVAC system, your heating and air conditioning system. Oh, and your ventilation, your ductwork, all inspected. A value of $95, that's free. You're going to get a year of the Fleetwell Club membership, valued at $225, absolutely free this year, and your duct inspection for free. Over $600 in savings. You must call now. Only 10 of my listeners are going to get this. You cannot find this on their website. You cannot find this in any other promotion from Fleetwell. Call Eli now, 213-817-5737. I'm going to give out the number again, 213-817-5737. If you're driving, do not call now. We'll give out the number again in a few moments. Be careful. I know a lot of my listeners are driving. Once again, a little slower. The phone number is 213-817-5737. Only 10 people are going to get this offer today. In a few moments, Eli, we're going to be going to a break. When we come out of the break, I want to have you detail, to some extent, what people are going to get in their system tune-up. I think it's important people understand what they're paying only $19.95 for. By the way, $129 off, ordinarily $149. In concert with that, talk about the inspection of the HVAC system. Certainly, we'll be talking about the club membership. And in short, what I know about the club membership is when you join the club, you get priority as a club member, as a homeowner that's part of it. You're going to get all kinds of things the average person doesn't get for free this year. Ordinarily $225, it's going to be free for you. And so it gives you a great chance to try it out for a full year. You're going to sleep a lot better as a homeowner knowing that Fleetwell is there whenever you need them. And we'll talk about ductwork. That's really overlooked by a lot of people. Even some HVAC companies, air conditioning companies will replace the air conditioning unit and they won't even address the ventilation, the actual ductwork itself. We're going to go to a break right now. Like I said, we'll be back with answers to all of your questions. As a matter of fact, Beverly, she actually wrote in an email, and we'll get to her question in a moment. We'll be right back right after this, right here on the Check A Pro Radio Show. Stand by. Attention, homeowners. This is Jim Clark from Check A Pro Radio with an incredible offer from my friends at Fleetwell Air Conditioning. Right now, you can get their AC tune-up special for just $19.95. That's a huge savings off the regular price of $149. That's $129 off. But wait, there's more. For a limited time, Fleetwell is giving Check A Pro listeners an entire year of their exclusive club membership absolutely free. That's normally $225, but you pay nothing today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal to keep your home cool and comfortable. Call Fleetwell Air Conditioning right now, 213-817-5737. That's 213-817-5737. Fleetwell Air Conditioning, your comfort, our commitment.
Dennis Prager here. Just go to checkapro.com. You'll find names, phone numbers, affiliations, and license numbers, everything you need to feel confident about hiring a contractor and getting your project done right. Checkapro.com.
I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living.
This is the Check A Pro Radio Show, sponsored by checkapro.com. To find pre-qualified local service providers, click on checkapro.com. Here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Jim Clark.
And thank you very much. I love what I do. I've been doing this for over 20 years, helping my listeners find the best contractors in our area. We check them out. We check insurance, licenses, and references on all of our pre-qualified contractors at Check A Pro. You know, a lot of people ask me, why did I start this business 20 years ago? Because like you as a homeowner, I didn't trust contractors, screwed over by them many times. And so I'm like, if I go out there and I actually find good contractors for myself, I pre-qualify them, I can share them with my neighbors. And that's how it grew, and started a radio program 20 years ago to tell everybody about my great finds out there. And one of them is Eli from Fleetwell. Eli, how you doing? Welcome back to the program. Yeah, it's great to have you here. Love helping my neighbors with great people like you. As a matter of fact, a lot of people will call me or email me and they'll say, thank you for the referral, which is interesting because a referral generally is when you ask someone, a friend, neighbor, do you know someone who can, fix my roof, my plumbing, my air conditioning? And they say, yeah, call Eli. And I guess that's what I do in a different way because I get to talk to thousands of people at once and basically recommend people like you and companies like yours, which is great. I'm honored to be in this position. An email has come in from Beverly. She has a question, but before we get to Beverly's question, I want to recap again and give out your phone number again. This awesome, awesome deal you have brought to my radio program, the Check A Pro Radio Show. You guys are going to come out and do a first time out system tune-up for only $19.95. To put in perspective, everybody, it's really hard to get a technician in any industry to come out for under $150 just to come out and say hello. It's expensive to dispatch people, technicians. Eli is going to dispatch a technician to your home not for $149, for $19.95. That's $19.95, a savings of $129 to do a full system tune-up. You're also going to get a free HVAC inspection worth $95, totally free. You're going to get a free club membership to Fleetwell, not $225, that's what it costs a year, but the first year free. And you're going to get your ductwork inspected for free as well. Over $600 in freebies today. You've got to call now. I had said before the break, only 10 of my listeners are going to get this. Well, guess what? There's only 7 left. 3 people have taken us up on this. Jerry, my producer, he keeps everything on track, and that's what he's told me. So you've got to call now. Only 7 of these left. 213-817-5737. This is really good for someone, Eli, who doesn't have an HVAC guy, or gal, I guess I should say. I think everyone should have an HVAC person. Eli's number, 213-817-5737. Call now. Only 7 of these offers left. 213-817-5737. Eli, part of the reason why I want people to call is to get the free Fleetwell Club membership so they have an HVAC guy.
So, Jim, the whole thing behind having a service professional is when you have one technician or one company, be it, that's looking at your system, they know what's been done, what we need to pay more attention to, what we can get away with for maybe a season. And ultimately, it's like having a primary care doctor that you visit, annually. The idea is, I always like to reference it hard because everyone's got a car and it makes it easy for people to understand. A lot of times you have this piece of equipment either in your attic or in your garage. You don't really pay much attention to it until it breaks down. Well, in maintaining it, not only will it not break down, but it'll keep your utility bills to a minimum. You're not going to have to pay as high bills just by cleaning your coils, changing your filters, doing a visual inspection of the electrical wiring, checking the gas, checking the refrigerant levels. In California, the last several years we've had crazy fires out here. All that ash and debris on the outside, that suffocates your outdoor unit. That outdoor unit's responsible for removing the hot air in your house. Now, if that outdoor unit can't breathe, guess what it's going to do? It's going to put more strain on your compressor. It's going to make that unit sound so loud, your neighbors are going to hate you. You want to make sure that unit's cleaned at least once a year at a minimum. I've been to some homes where I see 3, German Shepherds, all their hair is all tied up to the back. You want to make sure that free of hair, free of debris. Sometimes the gardeners, they put sprinkler lines right there. And over time, it eats away at the aluminum. We want to make sure that condenser is also raised, it's got vibration isolation pads, and everything is safe and running efficiently.
Yeah, no, I agree on all of those things. Here is Eli's phone number. Call him now to get this great offer, a $19.95. This price just blows my mind. First time out system tune-up for your HVAC system. Ordinarily $149, just $19.95. Here is Eli's number, 213-817-5737. Again, a little slower, 213-817-5737. This is an unheard of price. You will not find this anywhere else. You can go to Eli's website. Simple. Just go to Google, start there, and type in Fleetwell air conditioning. It's going to come up there at the top. Great website, a lot of great information, beautiful new brand. Love the brand. It's beautiful, beautiful. You're not going to find this deal anywhere but on my show because I'm really tough. Eli knows that. He's had to deal with me, and it's like my way or the highway. If you're going to be on my show, it's my rules. I've been doing this for 20 years. You have to treat my listeners well. Call now, 213-817-5737. So Beverly writes in, Eli, I want you to answer this question. She emailed me, joe@checkapro.com. So if anyone has a question who's listening, you can email me anytime you want, Joe, Joe, @checkapro.com, CheckAPRO.com. Beverly's question: how often should I service my air conditioning and heating system? I think I know the answer to this. Eli, what's the answer for Beverly?
Minimum twice a year. And that would be one during the fall and then one during the spring. We like to do all our preventative maintenances during the off season. That way, right before you get a chance to either turn on your heater or your air conditioning, we know that not only is it going to turn on, but it's going to run extremely well.
So let's talk a little bit about the Fleetwell Club membership. How does that tie into the biannual services?
The club membership is really an opportunity for us to take a look at your unit before you're turning it on during each season. So, for example, we're heading into the fall. It's still really hot right now in California, but that first cold spell, we want to make sure that your flue pipe, which takes out all the carbon monoxide, is checked. It's not cracked. Sometimes we have little miniature earthquakes where things move around in the attic. Want to make sure your gas valve is running well. The pressures are fine. Want to make sure that the fan blade in your furnace is fine and it's not rattling. And so we have our tune-up in the fall, and then we have our tune-up in the spring. Both of them, by the way, come with a 1-inch pleated air filter. Air filters, depending on how many pets you have in your home, how clean your home is, you're going to want to change it at least twice a year. And we do that for you during club membership.
I'll tell you what I love about the club membership, everybody. This is just fantastic. It's a way for you to be worry-free. You can go to bed at night, any night, 365 days, and know that you're backed up. Your heating and your air conditioning is taken care of by qualified professionals. Here's what you don't want. You do not want to have a failure with your air conditioning system on the hottest days, or in those occasions where you want the heat to come on because it's a little brisk and it doesn't work. Maybe you're having friends over, family over. Maybe you have a health condition and you can't have extreme heat or cold air. You need to keep it maintained all the time. People do it all the time, Eli, with their vehicles, their cars. The cars go in on a regular basis for fluids, especially for the oil and the oil filter change on a regular basis. Sometimes it's mileage based and sometimes it's not. It'll usually say on the little sticker they put on the windshield, by this date or by these miles, whichever comes first. The cool thing about your HVAC system is twice a year is good. The fall and the spring, like Eli said, I totally agree with him. It is going to be at the beginning of those seasons to make sure everything is cycling on and off well, and also taking a look at the duct work, taking a look at the filtration system. 1-inch pleated, you said you bring over, right? Is that what you said? That's a great filter to have. What's the difference between, I know the difference. Why don't you tell my listeners the difference between a pleated and non-pleated filter?
A pleated filter is essentially just a filter that has enough room to catch debris and dust. When you look at a filter, you have different MERV ratings.
Mm-hmm.
MERV, M-E-R-V. And so you have 8 through 10, 12, 14, 16. The higher that MERV number, the more particles it's going to catch. And what it does is it keeps your furnace hospital grade. You want to make sure that furnace cabinet is clean, because the cleaner your furnace is, the cleaner your air ducts are going to be, the better your air quality is going to feel. And so the idea is we don't want to just put some, crappy $1 filter that dust is just going to fly right through the unit. That's not going to do much.
Totally agree. Actually, we haven't talked about this, and this is something else I want to talk about after I give out your phone number, which is the benefit of getting a new system and starting from scratch, because there's a lot of benefits to starting with the right filtration system up front. Let's talk about that in a moment. But before then, I am going to give out Eli's phone number, 213-817-5737. Call today to get a first-time out system tune-up, only $19.95. Ordinarily $149, a saving of $129 just on that. Jerry tells me, he's my producer, only 5 offers left, and the music has come up, which means we need to go to break. Call right now, 213-817-5737. Only 5 left. Call now, 213-817-5737. Eli, when we come back, let's talk about the benefits of an entire new system. It's exciting stuff. That's coming up next right here on Checka Pro Radio. Stand by.
This is Sebastian Gorka. If you're looking for a quality home service provider, log on to checkapro.com. That's checkapro.com.
Attention, homeowners. This is Jim Cloud from Checka Pro Radio with an incredible offer from my friends at Fleetwell Air Conditioning. Right now, you can get their AC tune-up special for just $19.95. That's a huge savings off the regular price of $149. That's $129 off. But wait, there's more. For a limited time, Fleetwell is giving Checka Pro listeners an entire year of their exclusive club membership absolutely free. That's normally $225, but you pay nothing today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal to keep your home cool and comfortable. Call Fleetwell Air Conditioning right now, 213-817-5737. That's 213-817-5737. Fleetwell Air Conditioning, your comfort, our commitment.
This is the Checka Pro Radio Show, sponsored by CheckaPro.com. What are the latest services, products, and techniques? The pros check in here. Here's your host, the man with a hard hat and tool belt, Jim Cloud.
And that is me. I'm having way too much fun. I just love what I do. Today we're talking about your HVAC system. A lot of people don't know what HVAC means. They believe it has something to do with their air conditioning and heating system. It does. H, heating, V, ventilation, AC as well, your AC system, air conditioning system. HVAC, and that is the term we are using today. Eli is joining me from Fleetwell. If you did not get his phone number and you still want to get on this fantastic offer, I recommend you call now because there's only a few of these left. Eli's number at Fleetwell, 213-817-5737. 213-817-5737. You're going to get $129 off of your HVAC system tune-up today only. Only $19.95. On top of that, you're going to get a free HVAC inspection. On top of that tune-up, you're going to get a year's worth of the Fleetwell Club membership. We just spoke about the club membership, why it's important. That's $225 a year. First year, nothing, zero. Bonus, free duct inspection. All of this is worth over $638 just for $19.95. The reason why Eli wants to do this is he wants to get people on the program so they can get their system in shape and stay in shape. If you're not interested in keeping your air conditioning and heating system in shape, you probably shouldn't call. This is for serious people who want to have a great experience in their home, 24/7, 365. Call now, 213-817-5737. If you don't have an HVAC person, a company, you want to have someone in your Rolodex. That's what we used to say years ago. In your phone, someone you can just press one button and they will be there. 213-817-5737. Now, Eli, we're talking about ways to maintain people's system. You've offered a great deal today for just $19.95. What if someone's listening and they say, you know, my system is 9, 10, 15 years old or older. Can you guys help me with the new one? And the answer is?
Absolutely. Sometimes the repairs don't justify themselves because of how big those repairs are, or sometimes the parts are out of warranty, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. So we actually have a chart at Fleetwell which shows the age of the unit, versus the cost of the repairs. And it really gives a great visual to help customers understand at what point it's time to invest in a repair and at what point it's time to consider replacement. And so, I mean, we had a customer last week, she had a 4-year-old system and a little fuse blew out on her furnace. Very nice lady. It was, I want to call it a fun story because it turned out to be that her son-in-law came over and put about 3 air filters in her furnace. And so he thought that it would actually make the system run better, the air quality would be better. And he was there while I was doing the tune-up. And I told him, I was like, look, this blew out because the unit is having an issue drawing air from the hose, having a static pressure issue. And so we just replaced that little fuse. She got charged less than $150. And we were all out, showed her how to use her system. And it was great. On the reverse side, there's customers that have 20-year-old units that have an issue with their compressor, have an issue with their fan loader. These parts are expensive. They plan on being in the home for another 10 years, 15 years. They're essentially just putting good money into a system that's already giving them problems throughout the last decade. At that point, it is time to consider.
Yeah, if you have hot and cold spots in your home and your utility bills are high, that is another indication. The technology has changed so much over the past decade, even over the past few years. So if you have a system that's 10 years or older, which by today's standards is old, it may still work, but it's not as efficient. It costs a lot more to operate. And believe it or not, some of the refrigerant and parts are not going to be available. Things just change. There's laws actually that change things that we as consumers cannot control. I love having updated systems, whether it's my water heater or my air conditioning system or my water softener, whatever it is in my home, knowing that it's going to be the latest and greatest. But if you need your system fixed, if you need it to go for a few more months or a few more years, well, Fleetwell is your company. Here's their number, 213-817-5737. 213-817-5737. Here's a great tip for my listeners. Let's say you don't know you need a new system. But in the back of your mind, you're like, maybe I do. For $19.95, have Fleetwell come out. This is a big secret. Have them come out for just $19.95. Have them tune up your system, inspect everything. Get your free club membership worth $225. And then if you decide within the year you need a new air conditioning system, you're going to get the best deal because you're part of the club. Call now, 213-817-5737. Eli's smiling because I just put one in on him. Like, oh my gosh, I see what you did there, Jim. They're going to get the great deal for $19.95, and then we're going to give them a discount on their new system within the next year. Maybe. 213-817-5737. Eli, don't you agree, though? It's probably the best way for people to proceed. They can get their system that they have now looked at, tuned up, kind of cleaned up, if you will, right? Inspected and tuned up. And then if the recommendation is, hey, within the next so many months or years, you need a new system, we can price that out for you. And because you're part of the club now, you'll get a discount. It's the best way to do it. Eli's number, 213-817-5737. Francisco has written in to me, my email address, joe@checkapro.com. That's joe@checkapro.com. Francisco's asking for Eli here, how often should I change out my air filter? We may have talked about this already. Answer, how often should you get your air filter changed? Does it depend on the system?
So it depends on how they're running the system in the home. So every home is different. Some homes are kept really, really clean. Some homes have a full family and 3 dogs. So the best answer is you want to get your eyes on it at least once a month, once every 2 months. When I say get your eyes on it, inspect it. Sometimes you may pull it out of the tray and it may look completely clean. Sometimes you may pull it out and you might be like, wow, this thing is extremely dirty. In most homes, it's twice a year. So when we come out for the club membership service, we're replacing that filter in the fall and then in the spring. And because you put that pleated filter in, it's got an accordion-like fold. It grabs a large surface area of debris and particles that the non-pleated ones that they got a ton of fiberglass can't catch. And so if you got dogs that shed a lot of air, you want to definitely take a look at that a little bit more often.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I've got those big pleated ones, the big fat ones, media filters. It's an upgrade to the average, I guess. Love my system, take care of it. And it's important. I will say this because a lot of my listeners are my age. I'm 50 plus. And, Eli, you're a little younger than me and a lot of the people listening. But we look at our numbers, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, all this stuff, if we want to maintain ourselves and last a long time. The same thing goes for your car. The same thing goes for your HVAC system. And it really upsets me a lot where people will lose weight. They'll go on a diet. They'll take the blood pressure medicine. They'll get their oil and fluids changed in their vehicle, but they don't care about their air conditioning system or their heating system until it breaks down. And now it's an emergency call. And Eli, when it's an emergency call, now it's, I need it done now, and that usually means it's going to cost them more because whomever they call, it's an emergency call. It's kind of like when you have a problem with your body and you have a heart attack or a stroke and the ambulance comes and takes you to the emergency room. That's a more expensive visit than the regular doctor visit for preventing it. And I can't make it any more clear. Do you agree that emergency calls are more expensive?
Absolutely. Like I was telling you earlier, 9 out of 10 times emergency calls can be absolutely avoided if one of our technicians or even myself will just tell you, here's how to run the system. And we catch small wiring mishaps or a capacitor or any one of these consumable parts that gets replaced during the off season. Because if I had a crystal ball and customer would ask me, when's my unit going to break down? Most of the time, it's during the hottest weather, a holiday weekend when no one's available.
It's so
you don't want to be stuck. You don't want to be that guy. You could be having a dinner with family. It could be Thanksgiving, and now you got to deal with an emergency. It's terrible.
I agree. A lot of us have roadside protection for our car because we don't know if we're going to run over a nail and the tire goes down flat, or a belt goes. Something breaks. And just knowing that my wife and I have roadside protection gives me peace, because if there's a problem, we just call the 800 number. They'll dispatch someone to help us when we're broken down on the busy road. The same thing goes for your HVAC system. I want you guys who are listening to call. It's a no obligation call. $19.95 is all it's going to cost to have Fleetwell come out. It's not expensive. They're going to do so much. They're going to tune up your system. They're going to inspect everything. You're going to get the Fleetwell Club membership. We talked about that. $225 a year, free for the first year. And on top of that, a bonus, free duct inspection. This is all worth over $600 if you were to pay for it separately today. $19.95. I still can't believe it. Call now, 213-817-5737. Again, the phone number, 213-817-5737. There's only 2 of these left. 213-817-5737. We'll be right back right after this here on the Check A Pro Radio Show. Stand by.
If you want to get a home improvement project done, but you don't know who to call, I can help. This is Dave Ramsey. Don't call. Log on to checkapro.com.
Attention, homeowners. This is Jim Cloud from Check A Pro Radio with an incredible offer from my friends at Fleetwell Air Conditioning. Right now, you can get their AC tune-up special for just $19.95. That's a huge savings off the regular price of $149. That's $129 off. But wait, there's more. For a limited time, Fleetwell is giving Check A Pro listeners an entire year of their exclusive club membership absolutely free. That's normally $225, but you pay nothing today. Don't miss out on this amazing deal to keep your home cool and comfortable. Call Fleetwell Air Conditioning right now, 213-817-5737. That's 213-817-5737. Fleetwell Air Conditioning, your comfort, our commitment.
Do you have a question for Check-A-Pro Joe? Email Joe at checkapro.com. This is the Check-A-Pro Radio Show.
And we are back on Check A Pro Radio, helping you save money and be more comfortable in your home. If you're like me, you're spending a lot more time in your home than you did years ago. I know a lot of people who listen to me are my age and older. We're in our castle. May not be the biggest house anymore. We may have downsides a bit, but our house is our house. We want everything working well. We want our water to be clean. We want our house to be maintained as far as painted and the roof not leak. And we want our HVAC system, our heating and air conditioning system, to be well maintained, and sometimes just to have it replaced so we know we have another 10, 15 years of not having to worry about it. If you didn't have a chance to call Eli and his team at Fleetwell, you should call right now. Jerry, my producer, says we only have a couple of these offers left. 213-817-5737. Again, the number is 213-817-5737. You may have hot and cold spots in your home. Your utility bills may be higher than they used to be. Well, it's likely your system is not as efficient. Today's new systems are a lot more efficient. 213-817-5737. Hey, Eli, another email here that Jerry is telling me about from Liz. How can I lower my energy bills? I guess she means in terms of through my HVAC system. I'm going to throw out something that's not popular with a lot of people, and that is just shut your air conditioning system off in the summertime. Now, the reason why it's not popular is it's very uncomfortable. You will save money without joking around. In all fairness, you could, instead of having your thermostat set for, 72, set it for 73 or 74. It'll run less, but you still may not be as comfortable. I really think you should have the most efficient system you can, the cleanest system you can possibly have, and put the AC wherever you want.
Absolutely. So the thing is, when it comes to energy bills, this is one of our most popular questions, believe it or not. And your HVAC system takes up the most amount of space on your electric panel. It's the biggest appliance in your home. So most of the time, when people are running it during hot summers, June, July, August, September, even October, you'll get into hot weather in California. You'll see a big spike either through SoCal Edison or LADWP. And the reason is, it's two major reasons. One, when your unit is 8-9 years or older, that compressor inside, depending on the SEER rating that you got when you first purchased it, SEER, SEER, is the seasonal energy efficiency ratio. The higher that number is, the more efficient the unit is, the more expensive it is. But the trade-off is your utility bills are less when you're operating at higher efficiency. And so if you have an inefficient unit, it's kind of like an on-off switch. It turns on and then it just turns off. A more efficient system is almost like a dimmer switch. It goes on and off as you need it, and the electric pool, the volt pool from your panel is a lot less because it's drawing less electricity on start. And so, like you were saying earlier, Jim, I mean, the best way is just shut it off completely, but no one wants to do that, right? Because then they'd be uncomfortable, and we got people with health conditions too, just can't sit in a 80-degree home. But the truth is, it doesn't need to be one or the other. You get an efficient system, and you have an efficient air duct system. You'd be surprised how many newer units you see with older air ducts. They're cooling off the attic. They don't even know. And then they have rats that got in there and made a little hole, and now they're wondering why they have an issue with airflow in one of the bedrooms. And so many of the time we go up, we take a look, and sure enough, that's what it is. So we had a 6-step sealing process for how we seal our ducts, and that's using a zip tie, foil tape. We use heavy-duty cement mastic, and then we put another layer of insulation that's formaldehyde-free that actually protects and makes sure that you have enough airflow going through each room. And we put, lastly, manual dampers that help balance and adjust the air as they go into the different bedrooms. It's awesome because those little levers that you have at the end of your grill, sometimes people think that it helps redirect airflow. They'll shut off a vent in order to push more air to a different bedroom. That's one of the biggest misconceptions because the air's already traveled to the end of that duct run. And what you're doing is you're actually causing a buildup of pressure. You're actually harming the air conditioning unit by doing that. But if you have a metal disc, a damper that's balancing it from the start point, you can now help direct the airflow and customize it to your liking in your home.
Great point about the lever on the louvers on the registers in a room. You can play with them a bit for air direction. Just don't close them. Let the air come out. I'm not even sure why the manufacturers designed them to be closed. They shouldn't be able to be closed. They should just be able to be moved for different direction. Eli's phone number from Fleetwell, 213-817-5737. Jerry, my producer, says we are down to the last one. Please, if you're interested in taking advantage of this offer, call right now, 213-817-5737. Here's why you're calling. You're going to get a system tune-up, ordinarily $149 for just $19.95, $129 off. On top of that, you're going to get your entire HVAC system inspected, including a free duct inspection. And this is what I really love. I think this is really so important. The club membership from Fleetwell is $225 a year. I've asked Eli to offer it to you for nothing this year. To my listeners, absolutely free. All of these goodies on my show are worth over $638. $19.95 for all of it. Call now, 213-817-5737. 213-817-5737. We often get a lot of people calling during the radio program. If you're having trouble getting through, just be patient and someone will answer your call. 213-817-5737. Eli, hopefully today we got a lot of people scratching their head saying, I never really thought much about my heating and air conditioning system, but now Eli and Jim have really got me thinking. I'm going to call 213-817-5737. The worst case scenario is you get to meet a really great technician from Fleetwell, could be Eli himself, for $19.95 and get to know your air conditioning system better and see if there's a problem, and it'll run better. That $19.95 you'll probably get back within a month or so just in efficiency in many instances because of things that aren't efficient with your existing system. Also, here's what I recommend. Follow the technician around and ask questions. Get to know your system. You should really do that. Do you encourage that, Eli?
100%. The more involved you are during our tune-up process, not only the better do you understand the unit, but it does something in your brain in which it makes you understand what not to do. And so a lot of the times during the tune-up, we're like, okay, when you see you got a ton of debris, a lot of times people will use the condenser outside as like a shelf. They'll put pots and pans and stuff on it. I've seen a lot of people just turn down season do that. So I'm like, here's what you definitely don't want to do. When people are in their home, they're on a Zoom call or they're taking a call, it makes it difficult for us to be able to come grab them, show them everything. We take photos and document everything, but definitely helps.
When I go to the doctor, I ask a lot of questions. Now, I'm not probably a normal person. I'm a little different, but I like to know what's going on. I will say I don't know a lot about, my body, the human body. We don't know a lot about it. It's kind of funny. Here we are running around for our lives, and we really don't even know how the pancreas works. And we have one. Liver, kidney, stomach, all that stuff. It just kind of works. Luckily, though, because of how we were designed, it works with us not having to think about it. That's not true of man-made things. So we weren't made by man. When we make an air conditioning system, we as man know how it was made, and we understand everything and as to how it works. And you should ask your HVAC technician questions and follow them around. I bet a lot of people don't know, Eli, that air conditioning systems don't create cold air. They pull the heat out of the air. That really messes with people's minds. Have you ever spoken to a homeowner that says, that can't be? I know it blows cold air. It kind of does, but we take the heat out first.
Absolutely. So I love that you talked about that, because sometimes people are adding a different section to their house. They're like, yeah, let's just toss an event over here. Let's add another ductwork. And a lot of the times, other companies will say, yeah, sure, we'll do it, without properly explaining how their system works. And so without removing hot air from that bedroom or that living room, whatever it may be, it's going to be impossible for that room to cool down effectively. It's almost like getting into your car on a hot day. As you're turning on the air conditioner, you're probably rolling down the windows first and letting that hot air escape the car. Imagine you just had to turn on the AC. That hot air is trapped in the car. It'll cool it, maybe, but it'll take a lot longer. Let's let that hot air be drawn in through the return, which is that big vent where your filter is located. The more of those you have, and the placement of them is also so important, because if you have one in a centrally located part of your home, that's going to do a much better job than one that's kind of hiding at the end of the hallway. So both of those play a major role.
It's really important. Hey, the music has come up. That means the program is over. Call now, 213-817-5737. Get in on this deal. $19.95 versus $149 for the HVAC system tune-up from Fleetwell. Thank you so much, Eli. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Checka Pro Radio Show. For more information on how to select the right contractor for your project, visit our website, checkaproradioshow.com. Join us again next week at the same time.